All right, so let's dive in. We got to talk about this whole DOGE investigation thing. It's blowing up online today, March 31st, 2025. You've probably seen it.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's about how some members of Congress have, well, a lot of wealth, and it's raising some serious questions about power and accountability right now. So we're going to try to make sense of it.
Definitely.
We're going to look at it through the lens of this book, The Road to Serfdom by Friedrich Hayek. Elon Musk, of all people, has been recommending it a lot lately.
Interesting choice, but it kind of makes sense in this context.
Right. We want to get to the heart of Hayek's ideas and see if they shed any light on this investigation, especially what it could mean for, political accountability in 2025. For you, basically.
What's fascinating is how relevant Hayek's work still feels, even though he wrote it decades ago. His central argument is that when the government starts controlling too much, like way too much, particularly in the economy,
Yeah.
it can lead to tyranny. Basically, as individual economic freedom shrinks, so does political freedom.
Okay, so it's like a slippery slope.
Exactly. And that's where corruption can really take root. Something to think about as we go through all this.
So Hayek wasn't just like theorizing about this, was he? He looked at actual history.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
He went deep into historical examples to show how excessive state control over the economy has led to some pretty bad outcomes.
Yeah.
He wasn't just saying it was inefficient, he was arguing that it actually paved the way for authoritarian regimes.
Whoa.
Yeah, see, centralized economic planning requires a huge amount of power concentrated in the hands of a few, and that's never a good thing. It ends up stifling dissent, squashing individual liberties.
And that connects to what we're seeing now with this DOGE investigation, right?
Yeah, for sure. There's this whole chapter in the book called The End of Truth, which is,
Oof, that sounds ominous.
yeah, it is. Basically, Hayek talks about how this concentrated power can actually warp truth, manipulate information. Like when the state controls so much of life, including what information gets out there, real accountability becomes almost impossible. You don't even know what's real anymore.
It's like a total blackout of alternative viewpoints.
Exactly. Anyone who disagrees is silenced, and those in power are basically shielded from scrutiny.
Which is exactly what people are concerned about with the DOGE investigation, right? Just to catch you up, this is a probe that Elon Musk kicked off. It's looking into how certain very wealthy members of Congress, the big names like Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell, appear to have way more wealth than their government salaries would suggest.
Right, and that's where Hayek's warnings become super relevant. This idea of unchecked centralized power, especially when you mix it with personal financial gain, is a recipe for the kind of systemic corruption Hayek was worried about.
And it makes sense. People start to lose trust, feel powerless. It's like a modern form of serfdom, as Hayek called it. Not like literal slavery, but a loss of agency. You just feel stuck.
Absolutely. And we are seeing some of that play out now in 2025. This DOG thing isn't happening in a vacuum.
Not at all. Like on X, there's a lot of talk about wider financial audits being necessary, more transparency about offshore accounts and stuff like that.
Right, and you can see why. This investigation could blow things wide open. But it's not that simple. There are counter-arguments, people pushing back. Some are worried that Musk's involvement could make the whole thing too political.
Yeah, they're saying it could hurt the credibility of the investigation. Like, is this really about uncovering corruption, or is it just a political move?
Right, it's a valid concern.
It feels like we're at a point where people are really demanding more accountability from those in power, and Elon Musk is right in the middle of it all.
Yeah, he's not just a bystander.
No, and recommending that book, The Road to Serfdom, that really says something about how he sees all these power dynamics. Like, he's into it.
It's fascinating to see him take such a leading role, especially targeting someone like Pelosi. This all ties into this larger push in 2025 for political reform and greater transparency. You see it everywhere.
Totally. And the reactions on X, it's intense. There are some really strong opinions out there.
Yeah, no kidding. Some huge arguments going on.
Which is exactly why this DOGE investigation is trending so hard today, March 31st, 2025. And this book, The Road to Serfdom, it really helps us understand what's going on beneath the surface, these systemic issues that we have to grapple with.
It's a great framework for understanding power and how it can be abused.
Absolutely. And, this whole thing could really shake up the political landscape going forward, especially with this growing demand for transparency and accountability that we're seeing. It's like a wave.
Totally. Things are changing.
So as we wrap up here, I want to leave you with this thought. How can the ideas in The Road to Serfdom help you understand not just this DOGE investigation, but also the bigger picture? Like, how can it help you make sense of the debates happening around power, wealth, and accountability in this crazy digital age we live in? What does all this mean for the future of governance? How do we balance individual liberty with the need for some kind of collective control? It's a lot to think about.
It really is a lot to unpack.